Not a single trainer I have ever worked with in any industry would ever agree that it is remotely safe, responsible, or any sort of training method to chase your horse around with a car honking at them. Please be quiet, everyone. No, that was not an invitation for you to jump up here. Thank you. I love you. Hey, bitch, and welcome back to me talking about Jesus Christ, kitten, I swear. Mouse, I love you, baby, but you gotta go outside. Hey, bitch, and welcome back to me talking about people I hate. I was not going to make this video. I genuinely was giving this guy the benefit of the doubt, and I was thinking to myself, you know, he might be intelligent enough, intellectual enough to take down his video and just post an apology or not even post anything at all and just accept the L and move the fuck on. But no, I mean, of course not, because when do internet trainers ever accept responsibility for the shitty things they do to animals? So before we get into this video, I want to say a massive thank you to this video's sponsor, which is me. Thank you so much to Link Equestrian for sponsoring this video. For your information, guys, I actually did come out with a and Big Lick design. We have hoodies and tank tops available now for every single person who wanted them from my last video. They are available on linkequestrian.com, as well as we just relaunched the Equals hoodies, which are out now, and this one is my personal favorite, the Happy Little Horses hoodies. On top of that, we are doing a giveaway on the Facebook and Instagram pages, so if you want to win this halter set, or really any of the giveaways we do each month, definitely go check us out on the social medias, which are down below. But anyway, let's get into this because I know why you came and I'm here for the same reason. You know, I don't feel bad about making this video, and I'm gonna tell you why, but I always give people a couple days after they do something stupid, and I usually always call them out on my Instagram, which if you're not following me there, you should. Most of the time, they will take down the video and they'll just leave it be. I just don't want people posting stupid shit to the internet and allowing that content to stay out there and be promoted to other people in the industry, or even people not in the industry who don't know any better, who will perpetuate the same type of abusive behavior or training onto their own personal animals. It's not okay, and I don't stand for it. And this is possibly one of the most irresponsible training methods and most dangerous training methods I've ever seen. I wouldn't even consider it a training method. He still has his video up, and not only is it up, but he deleted all of his comments, so nobody actually knows if this is right or wrong. Let's talk about it. So good old Marky Mark is here trying to defend himself by saying this is how he trains horses to accept the weight and pressure of a saddle. Let that sink in. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure the old-fashioned way still holds up to this day of just putting a horse in a round pen and being very calm and patient and understanding and just working with them on the ground. Pretty sure that you don't have to escalate the level of danger as to chase a horse around with a fucking car honking at them. And we're gonna talk about all of the psychological abuse of this and potential physical abuse of this video and why it is harmful, since Mark does not seem to understand why this is not okay and just wants to blow it off as everybody is just sensitive snowflakes, which...
Okay.
First off, I just want to say that homie doesn't even have enough common sense to tie the cinch strap right, because it's literally dangling all the way down to the ground on the side of the horse, which is super dangerous and can cause the horse to literally fuck up its own tack that's on him. But irrespective of his incompetence to properly cinch up a saddle, we're going to talk about, is this actually proper pressure training? No. He is not driving this horse. This horse is 100% in fight or flight mode. And as you can see in this description, which I'm not gonna read because he has changed it probably like a dozen times now. Essentially, he's saying that he's driving the horse around and getting the horse to accept the weight and pressure of a saddle. Why you have to use a car to do this, I don't know. Because this whole thing is counterproductive. You are not actually teaching a horse to accept the pressure and weight of a saddle and get comfortable with it. This horse is not being driven. This horse is running sporadically in every which way just to get away from this scary object chasing it. This horse is not paying attention to the saddle at all. And we're gonna get into the dangers of this in just a second, but psychologically, you are teaching a horse to be afraid of moving vehicles. And this guy's gonna argue that he's driving the horse, and that's absolutely not true. Because when you're driving a horse, it looks like this in an arena, where the horse is moving around nice and calmly. Horses that are actually being driven properly and trained properly do not move sporadically. When you get a horse that's moving sporadically, even in a round pen, 9 times out of 10, it's based on fear, and that animal is in fight or flight, which is why they're not moving in a consistent direction. They're moving all over the place, and it looks very scattered. So if anything, you're not teaching the horse anything else other than to just be afraid of a car that's honking at it. Before he disabled it, there were a few people commenting defending him by saying that, oh, he's desensitizing the horse to the car, which is absolutely not true, because if you look at this guy's page, there is this video on his page. Now, I actually don't have a problem with this video. I think this is totally fine. I think this is a proper way to teach a horse to be around vehicles and be desensitized to loud noises and large moving objects around them. I think this is totally fine, and I don't have a problem with this training method. Specifically in his description, he talks about how this is his method of desensitizing horses to vehicles, which is totally fine with me. But you cannot say that now this video is him desensitizing a horse to a vehicle, because it's not. This is a totally different scenario. In the first scenario, where he does it correctly, he is sitting on the horse, he is in a control position to manage the situation if it goes south, making sure that the horse is standing still and keeping the horse nice and calm and reassuring the horse throughout the entire process, not asking the horse to move around, just getting the horse used to things moving around it and keeping the situation under control. However, this situation is total chaos, not in control at all. You are sporadically chasing a horse with a vehicle, and not only is this completely emotionally detrimental to an animal and completely reverts the animal back on your original vehicle training, but all of the psychological aspects of this aside, because I can go on and on and on about how detrimental it is to an animal to constantly put them in a fear state. Just because it hasn't gone south yet does not mean it never will. And I want to tell people right now that horses have been known many, many, many times, probably this video being the most viewed and remembered incident of this happening. Horses have been known to jump on vehicles to escape the pressure of being trapped. In many situations where horses have been herded with vehicles or chased with vehicles, or vehicles have been in their way or vicinity or trapping them in a dangerous, sketchy situation where they are in fight or flight mode, they will jump on vehicles to escape the pressure. This is so dangerous on so many levels, and even if this wasn't already something that horses have been known to do, it's still not okay, because you are putting a horse in a very sketchy situation where they are at high risk of doing something that is potentially physically dangerous and harmful for them. There are so many points throughout this entire video where this guy gets within 5 feet or less of the rear end of this horse. If this horse stopped, if this horse tripped, this dude is chasing this horse around at like 20 miles an hour. Our reaction time as humans is not that good, which is exactly why they tell people when you're driving a car on the road to stay at least 1 car length per 10 miles away from the car in front of you, based on human reaction time. Your reaction time is not good enough, especially because you're on sandy dirt that's going to cause your car to drift if you pump the brakes, to slow down with enough time to not hit your horse if your horse decided to stop or if it tripped or fell on the ground. This guy runs such a huge risk of hitting his horse, running his horse over, causing his horse to jump back on the vehicle to escape the pressure. This video is so dangerous, you can't even call it a training method. But regardless of everything I just mentioned, I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I said, you know what? I commented, I left a very detailed comment on why this is really stupid, reckless, attention-seeking, and just wrong. I honestly, genuinely expected that this guy would have removed the video, actually accept the criticism that he was receiving, and take further action to educate himself on why what he did was stupid, reckless, and just wrong and should not be promoted. Did he do that? No, absolutely not. He 150% just deflected from the issue and didn't address it at all, and then uploaded an Instagram live video, which we're gonna react to right now.
Hey guys, so most of my following on Facebook is people who follow the method and are huge fans of Down Under Horsemanship and No Worries Club members.
Oh yeah, bitch, I forgot to let everybody know that he takes all of his training advice from Clinton Anderson and cites Down Under Horsemanship. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about this guy, I don't know what does. Sometimes Clinton Anderson has really good methods, but most of the time, all he does is mask the problems, and horses end up leaving his clinic looking like they are well trained, but they still have a bunch of underlying issues that were never actually addressed. Listen to this, guys. He literally says, if you get a chance, look at the comments on my last post. Bitch, where are they? You literally deleted them because you're sensitive. Because there's a group of people out there that have no idea what it actually takes to train a horse, but they feel emotionally obligated to let you know that what you're doing is wrong. First of all, that is one of the most immature and childish things to say. You cannot sit there when people are giving you valid criticism and say, oh, well, nothing that they say matters because they don't know how to train a horse. How the fuck do you know that? So just because somebody disagrees with your training method, they don't know how to train a horse? I really hate this guy. This is the most whiny trainer I've ever seen when faced with criticism. What you did is not a training method. It's literally just scaring a horse and promoting a very dangerous practice, if you can even call it that.
Today's video was about Thunder wearing the saddle for the first time, being out in the arena, and me using my truck to move him around so that he would get used to the stirrups bumping up against him, and ultimately just get him over that fear of the saddle.
So why do you have to escalate the risk of that situation by using a vehicle when you can just put your horse in a round pen like everyone else and teach a horse to accept a saddle the proper way? There's literally no excuse for using a car to scare the shit out of your horse, and you were not using the car to teach your horse to accept the saddle. As much as I don't like Clinton Anderson, I don't think we're ever gonna see him out here running a horse around with a fucking car, chasing a horse around with a car. Could you imagine? Clinton Anderson would be canceled so fucking fast, faster than he already is being canceled.
You know, some of these comments, you know, they're just selling you a bunch of bullshit, you know? because they're saying that this is barbaric and, you know, you're just terrifying your horse. This horse, after 3 days of wearing the saddle, I can literally drop the reins, throw all my tack on, walk away, get a drink of water, come back, and that thing is shh. Why? Because I followed the method.
I fucking love it when I hear people say shit like this, because this is the definition of somebody who is entirely close-minded. It does not fucking matter the outcome. What matters is what it took to get there. You can have a horse that looks good on the surface that still has a fuckload of underlying issues. And furthermore, nobody had a problem with you teaching this horse to accept the weight of the saddle. People had a problem with you chasing the horse around with a fucking car, honking at it, and getting so close to the rear end of it that if this horse tripped or fell, you would have ran it over.
These people want to sell you this idea that, you know, training a horse needs to be something very spiritual. And if your spirit animal connects with your horse's spirit animal, that there should be no bucking, and, you know, it's going to be such a beautiful experience. It's going to bring tears to your eyes. They are so full of shit that their eyes are brown.
I seriously can't listen to anything else this guy has to say, because you immediately lose credibility as a professional when you come on an Instagram live or any public setting and you mock valid critiques and criticism of other people. It just goes to show you the lack of maturity and the lack of understanding and self-awareness of this guy. He fails to even recognize what people were criticizing him for because he's so blind and narcissistic and set in his ways that he refuses to believe that anything he does is wrong because, oh, the God Clinton Anderson told me that this, and this was right. Not a single trainer I have ever worked with in any industry would ever agree that it is remotely safe, responsible, or any sort of training method to chase your horse around with a car honking at them. There's a lot of training I've seen on his page that I don't have a problem with. However, when you do something so reckless, stupid, and dangerous, and essentially attention-seeking, then I'm gonna call you out for it when you don't take it down, because you are promoting a dangerous thing to other people who don't know any better, who might potentially go do the same to their horses and put their horse at extreme risk. Honestly, this is probably one of the worst trainers I've ever seen, just personality-wise. If you don't have the capability to accept criticism from other people, then you absolutely should not consider yourself a professional trainer. So that's basically all I had to say for this video, you guys. Once again, thank you to Link Equestrian for sponsoring this video. I love you guys so, so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.